all the rest of the day, all night. And it's like midday next day. I mean, I'm not sleeping. I probably ate like half a bottle of Tylenol. Like it's going crazy. Like it got to the point where my like eyes, but it's like your eyes are rolling in the back of your head, you know?
Yeah.
But I was the one saying, no, like we're not going, to the point where get your ass in the car. We're going to the yard.
Dude, you were dying.
Dude, I guess I was dying, man. And so we get there. I'm telling you, I remember walking into the waiting room, just sitting down. And next thing I remember is waking up and asking my wife for my phone, right?
Right.
But what I didn't know is that was 7 days later.
Welcome to another episode of Beyond the Dispatch. We have an interesting guest in today. Interesting as in it's not going to be our typical guest we have on who's like a military or first responder. My buddy Mike here, he does kind of work in a career field who, you know, they respond to natural disasters and help mitigate, you know, the damages and help out their clients with the damages that occur. But before we get to Mike over here, please do us a favor. You guys, it really does help us out grow the channel. It helps out the channel with the algorithm and all that good stuff. It's hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, whatever platform you are watching us on, hit that subscribe button. It really does help us out a lot, and we do appreciate you guys. But without further ado, we have my buddy Mike Rusnak in here. Oh, see, Rusnak, I said it. It's Rusnak, right?
Rusnak.
God damn it. I knew I was going to fuck it up.
It's all right. We practiced it a few times.
Yeah, we did, but it's still fucked up.
It's
this
okay.
Polish.
I've been called worse, man. So I'll.
Because what your real name is?
It's Michał.
Michał.
Yeah, it sounds a little Asian.
Yeah,
but
a little Asian. Your last name doesn't sound Polish.
No,
no ski at the end.
No, but yeah, man. Born in Poland, Michał Rusnak. That's the full name.
But,
but
dude,
Mike Rusnak.
You even had that the accent in there, and everything,
I'm
bro.
gonna deliver it, bro. I'm gonna go full out. I can't, cheat your people.
You can't cheat
your viewers.
Get the people what they want.
That's what it is.
Give the people what you want.
Yeah.
Mike has his story. There's a lot of correlations with Mike and I. And to give you a little background on us is like, after my injuries, I was at the gym nonstop, going. And I saw this dude there who always wears a snapback on, always has a hat on, just great personality. One of those people who you just gravitate to, right? And always upbeat. Every time I talk to him, always has positive things to say. We'd chill in the sauna a lot and just kind of like go through our conversations. And for you guys that don't know, my wife and I have been going through in vitro. We've been having a lot of difficulties. And when we started talking, we found out we have a lot of similarities, right? Where
unbelievable, actually.
Yeah, it's nuts. And
same doctor,
right?
I mean, it's crazy,
right? And then it gets even crazier is that. So I want you to tell the story about how my cousin and your wife.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So that's as well. So we're sitting in the sauna, like Dom said, and we're all talking, and we realize IVF, and as soon as you hear IVF, that's a common thing. Not too many people go through, so we kind of bond over it, and we start diving deeper into it. Realize the reason, I believe, because I know you guys were using a different doctor, and at one point so were we. And we just experienced. We tried twice. We didn't get the results we wanted, so I figured let's try somebody else. And when we went to Dr. Miller up in Naperville.
Shout out Dr. Miller.
Dr. Miller, baby, let's go. And we had a great, we had success. And also Brittany just going through the process, just liked it a lot better.
Right.
So it turns out my wife does lashes. And Dom's cousin actually has been my wife's client for a long time.
Right.
I guess this wasn't just something that happened. Like after I met Dom, I went back and I told Britt. Britt's like, oh, yeah, like I know his cousin. So it turns out Britt, after we switched doctors, was telling Dom's cousin about it, and turns out Dom's cousin ended up telling Dom's wife, and that's how I ended up going down the path, and we ended up using the same doctor and both having
which is nuts
sons,
right? Because my cousin would tell you Brittany about my whole story about like how I got shot and this and this and this.
So that's when I came home and I said I met this. She knew it wasn't like I know exactly what you're talking about,
right?
It's a very unique story.
Fucking small world.
Wow. And then after that too, even like. Well, the hospital stints, which I'll kind of get into, but I won't. I mean, just a couple months apart, you and I were in hospital together. And
dude, right around almost the same year, recovering the same, like right around the same time.
And then that's kind of, I guess, what led us both to working out at 5 a.m. I always tell people, the people that work out that early, there's got to be something they're running from, or they got some sort of demon, or that's not a normal hour of the day for people to get up and just get to start busting their own ass,
Yeah, not a lot of people wake up at 4 a.m. just to beat the shit out of themselves.
So it's kind of nice. So, just knowing that, me and Dom got to know each other, so many similarities, and, even though our traumas were kind of different, right?
Right.
But eventually, it one way or another, it's a trauma. You know,
Right.
It's
Exactly.
that,
And we talk about that all the time. It's all about perspective. Just because my situation was one way, your situation is another way, doesn't make my situation like more traumatizing than it does yours. You know, everyone processes trauma the same way.
yeah, and yeah, for sure. And I know
Well,
I was
maybe
telling
not the same way, but you know
well,
what I mean.
no, I
Yeah.
agree with you. I'm. It's more of just that's kind of what I was telling Dom too, and he asked me if I'd like to maybe do this one day, and I did. This has actually been my dream of mine. To
Really?
do something like this. So I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you for coming on.
But my big thing was, even though everyone that comes on here, even though we have traumas, mine is kind of a little bit more self-inflicted, right? I mean,
Right.
I wasn't out there doing something that's, saving people or whatever to get to where I got to. But I know Dom kind of talked me into it and really kind of spun it one way that made me really want to come on here. Is even though there's a lot of first responders, a lot of military, Army folks that do come back from their line of duty with PTSD, that do dive into alcohol and drugs as a way to kind of cope with it, that eventually turns out, it's sometimes in very dark places.
Yeah.
So once he kind of said that made me feel a little bit like, okay, maybe I could potentially, my
Easily.
story could help somebody, even one person, that'd be wonderful.
Brother, your story's about resilience. Your story's about, it's just about comeback, about, defeating all odds, because when you do hit rock bottom, when you are in that position of the mountain's too tall to climb, how am I going to get out of this? I can't get myself out of this. And you are in the darkest points of your life.
Yeah,
and you literally think there is no way out. That's why I think your story is so powerful, because there's a lot of people who get to the point that you were at and they do not bounce back. It kills them.
That's unfortunately the case. I mean, I ended up doing a rehab stint, and I got down into the statistics and learned a lot about them. I mean, the one guy walked in. We had a guest speaker while I was there, and I think there was about 42 of us in this particular rehab class.
Rehab.
Yeah.
So before we get to that, let's tell everybody about kind of like just an intro or a little snippet of what happened.
Yeah.
Or what we're talking about, because they probably don't know. I'm assuming they can assume, but we were talking about alcohol.
Yeah.
And abusing alcohol. And Mike literally went through it, almost died, literally shouldn't be here.
Yeah, 30% chance doctors gave me at one point.
And he lived, and he literally turned his life around. That's why your story is so powerful to me. And I honestly am very proud of you, and I look up and admire you because of what you had to go through. Because there's in law enforcement, as paramedics, you guys know this, like, you respond to people all the time who literally drink themselves to death, and they wither away to nothing, and it just consumes them. It ruins their relationships in life, their marriages, their family, everything. And you're left with nothing. And we get calls all the time for people going through withdrawals, and they need to be under medical care to, get that type of treatment.
Right.
So that's Mike's story, and I'm going to hand it over to him and let him tell it. But brother, your story is phenomenal. You guys are in for a treat, because this is a very powerful episode.
Man, well, thank you. And I'm, and I'm an open book, so I'm not gonna hold anything back. I'll tell you guys all the stuff that I'm not proud of. A lot of it is stuff that I'm not proud of, but
Right.
I am proud of it now, and kind of what I was able to turn it into. But
I
yeah,
mean,
man.
fuck, did you just hit 3 years? What?
3 years.
2
October
weeks ago.
23rd, man.
Let's
I
go,
got my
baby.
coin, baby. It's hanging up in my garage. I'm very proud of it. It's such a thing that's worth nothing to most, but it's the world to me, man.
And that's all that matters.
Something I'm very, very extremely proud of, and I hang it literally right when you walk in the garage door into the house. It's so even people that come over that don't know me, they see it.
Love it.
I'm proud of it. I wear it as a badge of honor now.
As you fucking should, brother.
But,
so how did your relationship with alcohol start?
Yeah, man, that's a great question. I mean, literally from an early age, and I'm sure some of your viewers may be able to relate. But I'm Polish, born Poland. Born in Poland, Polish family. The Polish, the Irish. They kind of have a reputation for liking to do a little drinking,
Hitting
right?
the booze, brother. I know.
So the thing is, for me growing up, I've always related alcohol to family, to warmth.
Right.
To just, I mean, it's from a little kid. I remember being 5 years old, and my grandparents thought it was hilarious that I'd grab the bottle and pour the shots, right? Like
Right.
that's not normal, right?
No.
Like nowadays you see that, like, child protective services are on the way, right?
Right.
But this was, back in old country too, I'm dealing with people. It was just a very normal thing to do.
Which is very normal also. And I think in America, there's a lot of families who, alcohol is a big part of their lives. So like, I mean, growing up as a young man, I'm like, oh yeah, my kids can go get me beers. I remember getting my dad beers, like, and that's kind of like that relationship because you get that acceptance from your father and that's like a good thing, but I'll let you continue.
So, that's a great thing. And so I had that growing up throughout my life. And the worst part is it was mixed in with that alcohol, that addictive gene that's just gone through my family. Like now that I'm older and look back, I mean, I lost my grandparents for it. My uncle had died at the age of 40. I mean, my mom's struggling right now. It was just, now looking back on it, there's just no reason. I mean, it's obvious why I kind of ended up the way I did, but you don't see this as you're growing up, right?
Right. And in a Polish family, that's like part of your culture.
It's culture, man. It's just what you do. If you don't, you're weird.
Right.
That's the crazy part. So,
right.
So that's just how my life progressed. As I was a kid, around it all the time. Then you get into your high school years. You start meeting your buddies, you start playing a little football, you start going out on the weekends. Well, my going out on the weekends from the jump was crazier than everybody else's. Got to the point where you develop a reputation. Like this guy.
Because you grew up in Palos?
Palos Hills, yeah.
Yeah, so that's like South Side, that South Side, South Side
I mean,
boys,
instantly, I mean, it was no problem, finding a group that was very similar to me.
Yeah, because if you guys who don't know the Chicagoland area, like the South Side, like Oak Lawn, Oak Forest, Palos, like you guys are a lot. It's just like a close knit community.
It's very, I think it's got that like European feel to it. I think, and just clicky a little bit,
yeah.
But everyone's kind of, you're right. Yeah,
yeah.
I mean,
Party. You guys like to party, go to the Sox game, like that's
I'm
like
a Cubs fan.
Cubs fan.
Hey,
no, I know, brother.
Yeah, I'm not wearing that.
Me disrespect. I'm also a Cubs fan. We went to the Cubs game together.
That's right.
But let's get back on track. So back. So your relationship with alcohol, your family, your boys. So you guys hit it off like right off the rip. But you would also spend time in Poland as well, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. When I was a kid, because we came here immigrants. Very poor. I mean, I was 8 months old when we came over. So I mean, my parents no language. They didn't speak the language. I didn't have an infant. We knew, I think they knew like one family, and they owned a laundromat. So it's funny. We moved in, lived above the laundromat. And at night, my parents would clean the laundromat just for rent, just so we could live somewhere because they didn't have any money, right? So then it got to the point where, they just couldn't kind of do it themselves. So my grandparents, again, in Poland, I grew up on a farm. So they ended up going, and they were actually well off as far as Poland is considered. Yeah. First color TV, first phone, which is kind of weird because who do you call if you got the only phone in the village, man? Call 911. That's truly it, dude. That's what it was there for. But it's crazy. So then, when they came here, it was completely different. So my grandparents saw they were struggling, but this was their dream. They sold off their entire livestock and moved to America. We got a little house, and they started raising me, right? And that's just kind of how that happened. But yeah, so the early times were a little rough, And,
right, absolutely. Because in the summer, your parents would be working and you weren't at school,
so
right?
That's kind of where we were going with that. So they didn't have a babysitter, and then eventually, when I got a little bit older, started going to school. My grandparents' dream was always to go back. Yeah. So they ended up flying back to Poland, but now they left. Summers open. Where who watches Mike, right?
Right.
So from a very early age, I mean, I think I was like 3 or 4 years old. They wouldn't fly with me, but they take me to the airport, strap my passport around my neck, and kind of send me off, hoping grandma catches me on the other side, And I mean, think about that.
Dude. It worked.
It worked every time. I mean, here I am. Dude, there was layovers sometimes, bro. Like, how the fuck did I make that happen?
Dude.
I don't know. Like, can you imagine even sending your son?
Not a chance.
No, dude. There's no way I'm doing that. But whatever. It kind of created a monster, I guess. But yeah, so that was just a big, going back and forth. I mean, I had friends, man. I had a girlfriend. I had a dog in Poland.
A whole nother life.
And the rules were different out there. You know? So I would come back, and I was probably that bad influence. I'd come back from Poland, show my American kids, like, well, you never smoked a cigarette before? Like, this is how you fucking open a beer bottle with your teeth, I'm like 7, bro.
So you were in Poland. You were drinking over there too.
Oh well, my grandma, grandpa were raising me. I mean, they were watching me, and what kind of power could they have? They just wanted. They'd see me for 3 months a year. Right. So do you think they were gonna risk pissing me off or whatever, or like punishing me? No, dude. It was a fucking. I had a motorcycle out there. I mean, at this point I was like 10 or 11. Now.
Right.
I mean, dude, we'd be gone for like 48 hours, bro. And my mom would call, ask grandma, like, how's Mike doing? She'd like, he's sleeping. When she didn't even know where I was.
Oh,
so,
shit.
I mean, so imagine just all this kind of life experiences now leading you to the point now I come back. Now I'm 18. Now I'm 19. Now I'm in college. Now,
so you grew up fast, man.
Baby. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then even here in America, I mean, I was that kid where, I'd wake up and my mom would call me. I'd wake up. Like there was a paper, like put this in the micro for 2 minutes, you know. Like,
Yeah.
I would have, my family would have been in trouble if I think people would have found out what the hell was going on, you know.
Right.
But it's just that's the life of an immigrant, man.
What else are you gonna do?
They got to go to work. You got to, you know, it's tough, you know.
Right. You
And a lot of
pay your
families, go through that. So that's, you know,
Yeah.
there's a stress. So I'm not. So it's blame my parents too for maybe, you know, coping on alcohol and stuff to eventually get by. Can't really blame them neither, right?
Right. But that was the norm for you.
The norm, and it's something I lived around, and that was always the comfort. No matter how shitty life gets, we could always get together at night. Everyone would laugh, music, drinking, warmth. You know, that's just kind of what it was.
Oh, 100%. Man.
So, you know, as you get older, you know, you're partying, you know, it starts to get cool, you know. I mean, and I hung out with, you know, football. I mean, I played football, right? So it was never like, I mean, my grades were fine. See, this is the biggest thing, too. I was never... Everyone always knew I partied, and I always did this, but I always had my shit together. Right. And I was like a fucking duck, man. You know, on top of the water, looking calm and collective. But if you look underwater, I was a mess, bro.
Storming,
just,
dude.
Ooh, man, and then just trying to keeping it together, and that's what got me to the point where I got to, because I was able to fool a lot of people for a very long time.
What was your mindset like back then, dude? Do you remember?
Like high school times?
Yeah, like high school times, kind of like in your early,
dude,
you know, high school to your early 20s. Like, did you always kind of have the same mindset? Like, let's fucking get it. 'Cause you said like
miles an hour, baby, let's go.
On the surface, cool and calm, and you said underneath, like he was just like a fucking storm, bro.
I mean, there's always, you know, I always had. I always knew it was different. Everything I did was to an extreme, and that's kind of when I realized, maybe even without knowing it, that I have an addictive personality. It got to the point where if I like something enough, I'll fucking do it till it kills me or hurts me, you know? Yeah. And it could be anything, man. It could be anything. It could be, I mean, dude, I was 250 pounds. I'll get into that too, but I started working out, now I'm 160. It's, you know, once I catch on to something that I like,
game over.
Boom, dude, you know? And that's, I wish I would have known that at an early age.
Right.
Now I know that now, and that's what helps me look back and kind of see what I did and how I got to where I got to. But that's that part, that gene, that sickness that you're born with, and it could be a family curse, right? Yeah. That you're born with. And I think a lot of people are born with, but then the life experiences, you know, chisel you into becoming. But once you have that in you already, you're very, you and I, or me and someone that doesn't have it, can have the same experiences. They'll end up fine. I'll end up fucking on a 4-day bender. You know what I mean? It's just, that's shit, that's it. Just once it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah.
But so that's kind of where my mind was, man. I mean, even in high school, my priority to get good grades was to be eligible to play football. You know, I was a pretty decent athlete. But once football was over, I mean, we wanted to go fucking hit it, dude. You know, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, get to school Monday. Yeah. Enough grades and just to hang out with your buddies to plan the weekend again.
Just like every other high school dude
would be
doing,
man. Yeah, that's what it was. And then college, you go off, you know, you get a little bit more freedom, and then
a lot more freedom.
And I was always a hard worker too at work, man. So I always had a little bit of coin in my pocket. So anything that I wanted, it was available
at your fingertips.
And I just had no fucking way of controlling it, you know?
So high school, partied. I mean, you know, you had that early relationship with alcohol right off the bat.
Boom, drugs, you know.
Yeah.
That started getting involved, you know. And now it's here's
high school.
I never. Oh yeah, but I never got into major stuff. The most I've done my psychedelics, you know.
Right.
I smoke weed still a little bit, but the cocaine, you know. That's I never got. Thank God I never got into the harder, you know, the heroin. Stuff. I've never touched any of that in my life. Thank God. That's probably why I'm here.
Right, brother.
But that's when some of the other stuff started coming in, and now you're, you know, for a train that was off the tracks, just got a little bit crazier. You know?
Sprinkle a little bit more magic dust in there, bro.
Speed that fucker up.
That thing's on high speed, baby, from Paris to London in 30 minutes.
Yeah, man. You know, catching myself going out at night, you know, and I had a job, fucking getting to work an hour before the parking lot just to get a 45-minute snooze, you know, before I go in and work a 12-hour shift, though, and I'll do it.
Right. Well,
and things that no one at work, besides maybe, you know, they smell it off me a little bit, ever knew, because my work performance was fucking fantastic.
On point, bro.
You know?
A lot of guys do that. I remember doing that in the Coast Guard. I remember doing it even before the Coast Guard. Like, show up, even the Coast Guard, like, showed up
None
muster.
Of that, what I said was
fucking hammered.
Is uncommon. That's,
right.
You know, many people go through it, so it's probably very relatable.
Oh, dude, 100%. So when you went to college, and then after college, you started your career.
Yeah. And then so that's also kind of where the thing is that I went into sales. Right. And the big thing about the jobs, and again, I was always pretty successful pretty quickly. You know, every job I went to was just a kind of upward. If I'd get to a point, even though I switched companies, it was just whatever. But a lot of the jobs was around whining and dining, clients, right?
And you have a
Taking
personality
ball
for that,
games.
brother.
Yeah, and so think about it. They strap a 21, 22-year-old alcoholic. I didn't know I was yet, but I was in the trainings, man,
Yeah.
with unlimited funds of a fucking credit card that they're telling me, go out and get drunk with these clients. And the more I did, the more they liked me, the more work they sent me, the more my employer would tap me on the shoulder and tell me how good of a fucking job I'm doing.
Right.
So now it's this thing's, wait a minute. So I'm getting, positive reinforcement
For your behaviors?
people, for my behaviors.
Yeah.
And plus now I'm already a psycho, like
Are you fucking
you guys
geeked
just,
up?
You guys just gave, fucking, what was that? Just added insane fuel to the fire. Right?
Insane,
I
dude.
mean, it was positive reinforcement on something that I'm doing very negatively, right?
Yep.
That's driving me straight into the ground. And then that went on for a little while.
So what does that make you want to do? Makes you want to keep going. Makes you want to keep doing more.
Well, it makes you think like maybe this is
the way to do it.
Like there's no part of me was thinking I'm doing anything wrong.
Right.
I was looking at, look how lucky I am, dude. My buddies are doing this, that I get to fucking, it's noon on a Tuesday.
Taking guys golfing, to dinner, to football games, to baseball games.
And then, so then slowly but surely, man, plus with that salesman mindset, I found out ways where I could make it look like I'm taking clients out, but really I'm just, doing whatever I wanted to do. And then once that happened, once I started getting into the darker side of things, then I'm, spending this money that I'm saying I'm taking clients out, but I'm loading my fridge of Tito's, and now I wasn't using or my family, mine or my wife's funds. So she would look at the account and know nothing. Fine, man. My employer thinks I'm doing great,
because you're bringing clients and you're closing, you're getting business.
So it makes sense why I'm doing what's on my expense report.
Right.
Everything just worked. I figured out how to do it flawlessly.
Yeah.
And it was until it wasn't, and that's when things went off the rails. And then that's when, all of a sudden, I got to the job I'm working at now. And now this, a little bit more, I got a little bit more privileges, I guess, a little bit more traveling, a little bit more, money, I guess. And now, things just ramped up to the point where by now it's years of doing it. And if I was, doing more than most in high school, imagine where I'm at the age of 30.
Right.
And that's going nonstop with progression. I mean, it was progression. It's a progressive disease.
Yeah.
There's no way you start. Do you know anyone that, did a drug and just thought, oh, no, it ends up going, you're chasing it. You want it more. You want what you, originally had. And again, everything's going well, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
until it wasn't.
Until it wasn't. And then, met my wife, which was kind of incredible. I married her all throughout all this, but what happened there, and I kind of almost made me feel a little bit bad for her, is I met her. I was the best man. She was a maid of honor in a wedding for our friends in Mexico while she lived in Tennessee.
Yeah.
So for the first original, we fell in love, and then I traveled back and forth. She traveled back and forth for multiple weeks, Chicago to Tennessee, and then for her to leave her career and move out here permanently, she wasn't going to do it on, without any sort of guarantee.
Yeah.
I ended up buying a nice ring, proposing to her. She ended up leaving her career, moved to Illinois. Now, how well do you know somebody, right?
Oh, yeah.
Over the phone. I mean, I had my shit together on the outside. I told you, I was always fairly, successful. I had my own home. I had a nice car. I mean, so on the outside, I'm a salesman. I was able to say whatever I wanted to say to get her to, and I'm not a bad guy, but there was demons that I knew I had that I was hiding because I didn't want her to know, because if she knew, she may not like me.
We all hide demons, brother.
Right?
Yeah, I agree.
And so then finally, once she moved down here, I think she realized, like maybe there's a little something more to this than I wasn't really, didn't know of. But, so that's kind of where the dark days begin, right?
So when did you realize that things were out of control?
So when I realized things were out of control, and I could specifically remember this feeling, but I don't know how I got there. It was one day where I think it was like the morning or middle of the night, or I can't even remember exactly what time of day it was, but I woke up just profusely sweating, man, like thinking I'm either having a heart attack or something's going on bad, right? And it just went on for a little while. Like, I think like towards the morning. I think it happened maybe like, it's like 5 a.m. So I laid it out in bed till the morning, got up to the point where Britt's like, why is this fucking mattress so wet? Like, what is going on, dude?
Right.
So I'm like, I don't know. But then I went and asked my normal routine, went to the garage, found my hidden alcohol, took a couple shots, all of a sudden, ooh, your boy feels good.
Yeah. Back to normal.
And then I was like, oh shit.
Good as in you felt intoxicated, or good as like normal? You felt normal.
Just not shitty.
Right. So you were going through withdrawals.
Bad now. And I'm like, and how it didn't happen slowly. This was like, I was doing fine, and all of a sudden, boom. And now it's, now whether I want to drink or not, it's got me, man. Then you become a prisoner.
Yeah.
to alcohol.
Oh,
I mean,
dude.
so it was to the point where I had it hidden everywhere, dude. I had it hidden. I mean, it got to the point where it was this bad where I had water bottles that looked just like water in the bathroom hidden just because in the middle of the night when I would sober up and it would wake me up bad enough, I'd go pretend like I'm using the bathroom just to kind of get to the point, only just to get so I go back to bed and fall back asleep and not give off any sort of, red flags. So my wife thinks something's going on.
So how'd your mindset shift at that point?
Dude, it's hard to think about anything other than that because it'd be one thing to, I just got to get a drink, right? But I'm doing a drink, hiding it from everyone.
Yeah.
So now the financial, how do I get the money for it? I'm not, eventually it starts getting expensive.
Yeah.
How do I hide it? I mean, there's just so many things where, dude, if I was putting as much effort into my job as I was just to hiding this addiction, I would have been living much higher up the hall, man.
Yeah.
It was consuming my life. That's just what it was in every aspect. And then again, it's a progressive disease. Eventually gets to the point where you can't hide it anymore.
Right.
It's so people were knowing, man. I mean, I knew family knew, but no one again knew to the extent. They knew that maybe it was getting a little out of control, but nobody knew kind of where it was. I mean, it was points where I would travel for work and think to myself, okay, I'm going, I'm probably gonna be a bad employee this trip, but I'm gonna lock myself in a hotel and just go through that 3-4 day, just white knuckle this withdrawal and come back and whatever, man. But it's always something would happen. Either I mean, it's I don't know for anyone that experienced it. It's I wouldn't wish that upon my worst enemy. It's a nightmare, man. It's you can't sleep. It sucks, dude.
It consumes you.
And it's not an hour or two, man. Sometimes you're going on like 40 hours of it just nonstop, dude. And if you take one shot, it goes away.
Yeah.
So fucking you do it.
So how much would you be up to drinking a day then?
Handle
of day.
Tito's, man, dude. I'd have time where I'd have pints in my glove compartment, just because I need just to
stay level,
normal.
Yeah,
that's how crazy. So eventually, for the last maybe year or two of it, people would think, well, this guy must love drinking, right? So I drink so much. It gets to the point where it's a nightmare. You're living. You have no fun over. Like I can't remember the last year of getting drunk and being like, I'm doing this because I want to. I'm going out with my buddies to have a good time. This was sometimes I'd go out to work events, and I'd be the guy that was the first one to leave. And so a lot of times people, my employees, workers, like, wow, this guy must be very
dedicated,
very responsible. Little did they know is I just wasn't able to drink as much as I wanted to around these people. So I'd fucking leave, grab a fifth, go home, and then get to work.
No shit.
And so it was to that point, So I was always really, really good at being mindful of how I coming off to people. So I would manipulate the situation to make me look like I'm fine. I probably never looked great, but I did not look like I was doing what I was doing. That's where that ducking underwater thing comes in,
Right.
And things I'm getting promoted, man. I'm doing really well, And then so I eventually, my wife got to the point where she started catching on, I mean, whether it was just, she's my wife, right?
Yo, she knows when something's
for a long
up,
time,
right?
but then it got to the point where she's like, Mike, like this is starting to become a problem. So let's, we don't have to get family involved, but let's try to figure this out, just you and I, right? So I started going to my AA meetings, just meeting with this and I loved it, bro. It really was. It was a place to go and because what I was going through, it's embarrassing, man. Walking into one of those things first, and you're being a prideful man and having to tell people what you're going through and your story, and I want everyone to think I'm a stud, but I'm really a piece of shit, at this point in time. And
right.
So you go in there and all of a sudden I sit down and I'm talking, and it's people in the same room that are going through the same thing I am, man. So I can't stop at someone at Walmart and tell them my story and have them relate. They're just gonna look at me, this guy's nuts. These bad guys are going through the same thing I am. There's things that they're going through that I haven't even thought of. There's way worse even.
Right.
So it was attracting me. I started going, and my wife thought this is
working
great. Problem is, over on Francis Road, the only way to get to my house, you got to pass the liquor store. Dude, so I'd go to the fucking meeting, dude, have this wonderful meeting, but on the way home, pick up a fifth and smash a pint before I got home. And my just, what would you call it? Just distorted mind would think, that was great. I learned a lot. I'll use all that information later.
Right. I'll stop tomorrow, or I'll stop tomorrow.
And my wife will never think I'm drinking if I'm coming home from AA.
Right.
Right. That's where my mind went instead of. So that's how that disease just.
Yeah.
It's a parasite. And then man, the moment I would do it, the moment I'd wake up, it's the guilt, But the moment it comes, it just takes over. And it's just there's no control, dude. There's a way. You'll find a way. You'll figure it out. It's nuts. So that went on for quite a little while, And then this is kind of then where the hospital stuff starts. I mean, I could.
Well, before we get to that, let's take a quick little break, and then we'll get to it after break.
Yeah,
All right, brother?
Yeah.
Hey, guys, this episode is brought to you by Murphy Carter Law. This one, I'm proud to announce, this is a great partnership with us. They are a phenomenal law firm. I've known Rick for a very long time. He's a fantastic guy. Heart of gold. He supports organizations like Project Fire Buddies who give back to kids with terminal illness. This guy cares. He is a staunch advocate for first responders. He's just a blue-collar guy. He really is. He was a union construction worker at one point, and now he's just a shark in the courtroom, and that's just a fact. You're not going to go wrong by going with Murphy Carter Law. I promise you that. They will fight for you like they fight for their own family, like they fight for their mother, like they fight for their father, their brother, or their sister. That's just who they are. And they advocate for you guys. I promise they will fight for you guys tooth and nail. That's what they're all about, to make you guys whole again, or to get you close to that as possible and by any means necessary. They've won major cases already. I have some notes over here. They have $11.5 million truck accident case. They have a $9.5 million medical malpractice case and another $7.1 million delivery truck accident. They handle their business. If you're looking for a lawyer, if you've been in a situation like Carrie and I have, Murphy Carter Law, check them out. Go to murphycarterlaw.com. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. Tell them that Beyond the Dispatch sent you. Now we're gonna get into the weeds here, man. We're gonna talk about the hospital stay. We're gonna talk about your recovery, all that good stuff.
This is probably the good part, is where shit hits the fan. You know, this is kind of finally where the turnaround happens.
And probably one of the scariest points of your life.
/ best things ever happened to me.
Isn't that the craziest thing, dude? Yeah. Where it's one of the worst things that ever could fucking happen to you. Literally takes your fucking life away.
Yeah.
It's about to take your life away. And it also turns out to be one of the best things that ever happened.
Unbelievable. And it made me look at life differently. And I'm not, trying to preach in any sort of way, but even like that, a higher power, whatever anyone wants to think their higher power is, it could be whatever you want it to be. But this made me very much more believe.
Yeah, a believer for sure.
I didn't have this in me until something happened that put it in me. And for years I never thought it would end the way it's happening right now. But I guess so the story of it was, I guess, I was a fucking what you call it, a rolling stone, I guess, right? Just kind of out of control, baby. And then life was going nuts. Wife started figuring out AA meetings, but still driving home getting drunk. And one morning, bro, I wake up and it's a Saturday morning, and then I just look at my wife. I'm like, babe, like something, my belly stomach kind of hurts. I'm not sure what's going on. She didn't think anything of it because I was, what I was going through. I mean, obviously, Mike, you're probably not feeling good. You're
right, you're just sick. Yeah, so, or she probably thinks you're just sick or X, Y, Z.
At this point, she's probably, relationship probably wasn't where it should be. And I'm 100% my fault. And then, what do I do to make it feel better? Go downstairs, go into the garage, find my stash. Fucking take a rip, All of a sudden, next thing you know, dude, it felt like if someone poured, just salt on just the biggest wound, just all up my belly, man, my stomach,
Right after you took that rip?
Boom. Instantly, like you just like someone poured boiling water on something.
Right after you took the shot?
Instant. And I'm like, oh man, like to the point where, it seriously felt as if someone put a knife in and just kept it there. So there was no relief. And then what I didn't know was I ended up getting pancreatitis. And for any of you that want to look it up, it's they compare it to a woman giving childbirth, like as far as pain in the stomach. So you can look it up. I promise. That's what they say. And I've never gave childbirth, but I went through this and it was brutal. And again, at this point, I'm still embarrassed of everything that's going on. And I'm not putting two and two together. I'm thinking something's going on. So I'm like, hey, I'm just gonna sleep it off, take some medicine, whatever. This ends up going on for like all the rest of the day, all night, until like midday next day. I'm not sleeping. I probably ate like half a bottle of Tylenol. Like it's going crazy. Like it got to the point where my like eyes, it's like your eyes are rolling in the back of your head,
Yeah.
But I was the one saying, no, like we're not going. To the point where get your ass in the car. We're going to the yard.
Dude, you were dying.
Dude, I guess I was dying, man. And so we get there. I'm telling you, I remember walking into the waiting room, just sitting down, and next thing I remember is waking up and asking my wife for my phone. Right.
Right.
But what I didn't know is that was 7 days later.
Holy shit.
So I ended up, I guess, just whatever happened to me in that waiting room. They ended up taking me, finding out this guy's in bad shape. They ended up putting me on a ventilator, dude. So I was ventilated for 7 days. And through that, my pancreatitis ended up spreading to my lungs, giving me double pneumonia, that's spreading up into my heart. And the worst part about it is I was in bad shape as to begin with, but my body was also going through hardcore withdrawals all at the same time. So just the strength of my body to fight what was going on just wasn't there, you know? So it got to the point where they gave my wife, they told her, like, about 30% chance that he makes it. So she's like, you should probably consider getting your affairs in order. She went ahead, got a priest came out, gave me my final blessings. I mean, I was a goner, man. A lot of people thought I was. And what made it worse too, and like we mentioned, you and I had the same IVF doctor, right? Well, I had my son later. This point was still one of the times where we just had the transfer, and she was waiting to find out if it took, and she got the news that it did not go well, like as I was on the ventilator.
Oh God.
So
dude.
I mean, just she's a saint, you know. I mean, the fact that she's still around and is in my corner is unbelievable. Great, amazing woman. I have an amazing family, amazing support system. That's kind of a big part of this all. But yeah. So that ended up happening. Woke up, 7 days later. Just basically, I thought an hour went by. So, that's kind of scary in itself. People always ask, "Where's your mind at? Do you remember anything?"
Yeah, man.
Nothing.
Because it was that quick. You just wake up and like you felt like probably like waking up from a nap.
7 days though.
Yeah,
I was alive, but don't remember anything.
Bro.
Who knows?
Fighting for your life is what you were doing.
I don't remember anything though. Like I was hoping maybe I come back and be like, I had a chat with God or something.
Nothing.
You don't want to talk to me.
No, same, bro. Same. I just blacked the fuck out and woke up.
Yeah. Fuck this kid. I'll wait till he figures his shit out before we talk. But yeah, man. So then that happens, and I'm not knowing what really went down. So I'm ready to pop up and get out of there.
Yeah,
right?
for sure. So you woke up, right? And you felt like it was kind of like you woke up from a nap in a sense.
Babe, can you hand me my phone?
And then do you remember the look on her face?
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's when I started realizing something else is going on. Because she looks and just bawls out. I mean, just tears. And she's running over. I mean, I guess I wasn't. Then people run in. They started putting like because I had a whole tube.
You're intubated, yeah.
Yeah, so that's when it like what? Oh shit, like this is not normal. This is not what I remember last happening.
No, man.
I can't sit up. I'm then finally. I mean, I lost all my because couldn't really move. I mean, no muscle.
I want to put up a picture of you before and after.
Yeah.
You look like a completely different person.
I was 247, 45 pounds of just fucking bloat.
Yeah, dude.
It's just brutal.
Dude, nuts. So you woke up, people are rushing in.
Mm-hmm.
You see Brittany, she's crying.
Mm-hmm.
So what did the next like few hours kind of look like after that, dude?
The reality hit. You
Yeah.
know? I mean, I had family there. I mean, everybody started coming in because think about it. My family thought I'm dead.
Done, dude.
Like
you got your last rites.
A lot of them literally have told me now that they've like went home and they're like, oh my God, like life. They're trying to already imagine what life's going to be like without me.
Yeah.
Like, dude, that's crazy, So the moment people know I'm back, they're coming to visit, and then there's as much they can. I mean, also I'm finding people are in the waiting room and chicks can only send a few up at a time. And dude, it's, I mean, they're all, it was just the reality hit of what the fuck, But dude, one of the craziest part was there was that but sure. But then that went away really, really quickly.
Oh, bro, that's out the window,
It started to be, oh, dude, I'm out of that prison, bro. That's what I thought. I withdrew. I'm out. What I've been out for the last year and a half, hoping for, praying to, that I tried. That I don't know how to. I don't know if I had the energy. It just happened because of whatever the hell, So then I'm like, so that's when the wheels started turning. Like, just I'm done, bro. And that's when I tell everyone that's struggling with addiction, until you want it for yourself, there's nothing that can be done.
Yeah.
And I mean, I ended up meeting folks that, that they were there because the law told them this is the last chance, and now they're going away for years. Their wife's going to leave them. They're going to lose their kids. None of that will get you to quit drinking.
Yeah.
Until you want it for yourself. It got to the point where I told myself, if I lose my wife, if I lose my job, if I lose everything, I'm gonna get sober, because I'll continue losing everything if I don't.
Yeah, man.
And because of that switch in my mind is what got everyone to get behind me.
Right.
Which was all of a sudden they saw I wanted it. They saw just a different person, man. And then it was just, I can't let them down, you know?
Right. And that's what drove you.
And everybody kept telling me, listen, everyone gets one mistake, you know? We'll forgive you. We love you. We got you. But you continue down this road, you're going to start losing people, you know?
Right.
And that hit hard, man. That hit real fucking hard, you know? And then I don't want to die, you know? I didn't want to die. I wasn't there yet. I had so much going on. It's just, that was it. That was rock bottom. That was when the aha moment happened. That was where, fuck this.
Everything
dude.
clicked.
I don't care what I need. I don't care about anything now except for doing what I need to do to become a better myself. Because, you know, and even like rehab came up. So I was already at this point. Okay, so I got out 7 days after I was ventilated, but then I was another 13 days in the ICU. So it was almost 20 days total. And then out of that, I ended up going straight to rehab for another 45 days. So part of me is like, dude, I can't do this too. So once I got out of the hospital after like the 20 days, I felt pretty decent, you know?
Right.
But I'm like, I got to get to work, man. Like, we don't have any money coming in. Fuck, you know, like you start thinking about the real world stuff. Like I still have a mortgage. I have all the stuff going on.
Bills to pay for, food to put on the table.
Yeah, so it's like, so everyone's like, well, you got to go to rehab. I'm like, I agree, but let me go to work for a couple months, you know?
Right.
And then they're like, no, fuck that, dude. Like, if you don't do that, you're not going. And then, you know what? I agree to that point. I'm like, I don't care if I lose my job. I don't care if we have to sell the fucking house.
What's more important?
I don't care about anything, because until the only way I can ever become the person my wife and my family needs is if I figure myself out first, right?
Right.
So then I just gave myself just to the system and to the program, and I just ate it all up, dude. I educated myself, man. Did a lot of just thinking, man. A lot of thinking, a lot
Self-reflecting,
of getting my mind right, dude. A lot of figuring out where from, and forgiving myself a lot of times. You know, because there's a guilt associated with it. You know,
you have to. Embarrassment.
I'm a 30-some-odd-year-old dude that's a loser now. You have to realize
right,
that,
brother.
You know?
And there's a lot to be said about your ego and fear and embarrassment. Like, those emotions, you know, your ego is an emotion, but it feeds your ego. And that's why you have your ego, is for your ego to protect you, right? It doesn't fucking matter. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter. Don't be like, why are we afraid? Why do we care about what people think about us? Like, everyone struggles, and if someone says they're not struggling, man, they're probably not really being fully truthful with you. Everyone fights their own demons, and that's okay, and that's fine, right? Just don't hide it. Like, there's nothing to hide. Like, you were suffering,
yeah,
and it literally almost took your life. So we're gonna get to the point of, I don't fucking like, I'm more worried about the fear of what people think about me than my own life.
Yeah,
what the fuck,
dude? That's what it was. But you know what, too, also, and that is a large part of it, but I can't, sometimes I would think that that's what it was. But then, dude, there's always that me also didn't want to stop drinking.
Oh, that definitely plays into it for sure.
And I was finding reasons to make it okay, you know?
Even
though it was
all
bad.
the time.
I knew it's bad, for a long time, but then it's like...
But that's like any addiction you have, like social media.
It was a fucked up day, so, you know?
Yeah, exactly. But like social media, it's like, I need to get off social media. And then you find yourself scrolling, like you're doom scrolling. It's just like...
And you create reasons why, you know?
Right,
it's
dude.
just to make yourself and your body, your ego feel okay about it.
Exactly. And the same thing, it's like everyone who wants to get into shape. Get into fucking shape, dude. Stop coming up with the excuses. Just fucking do it. Start it.
Dude. Absolutely, yeah. And then you'll eventually, you know, it's the hardest part though. It's usually just the starting part, right? It's to getting out there and doing it too. And again, most people, you know, I don't go in and working out, but you don't go in. People that start working out usually aren't in the best shape, right?
Right.
So that initial step is the hardest. You know? But then you start seeing results,
the
and
improvements.
Then you just eat up, and then become something you want it to be. You know,
you're always one decision away, man.
Yeah.
You are always one decision away, and it's like your relationship with food, or your relationship with people, or your relationship with booze, weed, whatever it is.
People have addictions with shopping, sex addictions,
whatever it is. You always come up with an excuse of,
sugar.
I'll stop.
I mean, people, it's so simple as people just. I mean, and so that's the thing. Everyone's got a little bit of something too, and it's, you know, and there's a way to.
But that's what happens when you feed it.
You
you feed it, and then you get into the position you are in. It's because you didn't make that choice to stop.
Yeah.
So you go to rehab and you buy in. And you're sold. You're self-reflecting.
Sinker, man.
You're working on yourself. After rehab, I mean, is there anything from rehab you want to share? Like any like?
Man, honestly, it's just, I guess the only thing I'm going to say about rehab is it's great. It's if you're ready. If you're ready for rehab, it's great. It's and it's crazy saying that way because I go back now all the time. I mean, it was the best experience I ever had. Now I can see going there for the wrong reasons because they take everything away from you, man. I mean, the moment I didn't even know what I was getting myself into, dude. So I'll tell you a funny story. So we roll up. My wife drops me off, you know, and I don't know what the fuck to expect. And this is out in It's called Banyan. I don't even know what the city. It's in the boonies, bro. Like 2 hours south, Southern Illinois, Central Illinois. Cornfields everywhere. Like from a mile away, you see the fucking building. If you want to run, you ain't going nowhere, dude. It's like Alcatraz, dude.
Yeah.
You know. So I roll in. They take me in this room. First thing they do, take my phone. They're like gone. I'm like, what do you mean? Like locked up. You get one phone call a week, and they give it to you. It's like 15-minute monitored. And then they take me in another room, strip, butt naked, bro, bend over, start coughing. They got to make sure you don't have any contraband on you.
Right.
And I'm like, dude, I was not fucking expecting this to be like this, dude.
Kind of like degrades you in a way, right?
Like, don't leave them coming home, you know?
Just put their finger in my butt.
Yeah, but no, the moment I turn on her ass, right, halfway fucking, I see a cloud of smoke. She gone, you know?
Yeah, right.
So, oh boy, here we go.
Daddy's home alone.
Yeah, I got to figure this shit out.
Yeah, man.
But dude, you go, they give you a binder. I mean, your life is fucking scheduled, man, you know?
Right.
And it's all right.
Right.
It's okay, dude. I went in there because I was ready. I was serious. I knew these are people that know what they're doing, and they'll give me I didn't know. I knew I'm sober now and I'm withdrawn, right? But I don't know how I'm gonna fucking manage to get back out in the wild,
right?
You know. Now I gotta learn ways. I gotta learn techniques. I gotta learn because I'm serious about this, you know. So I mean, I'm taking notes and a lot of things I'm listening to and just talking to people that have done it, why they failed. I mean, I was just a sponge, you know. Because that's how bad I was done with this shit.
Yeah.
And then luckily,
not going back.
Got out, and dude, you know, just grace of God, man, I've been able to stay sober, you know. And is it easy? Fuck no, dude. Hardest thing I've ever done. And so I mean, I've put a lot of obstacles, I guess, in my own way. My wife always kind of laughs at me. She thinks I'm crazy about it. But like, I got a sobriety tattoo, man. You know, I do all these things. I hate hypocrites. That's kind of one thing about people that I dislike.
Right.
And I don't want to be one, right? So how can I be a fucking drunk with a sobriety tattoo?
Sobriety tattoo, right?
Just
exactly.
Weird shit like that, but it's the way that's how my brain works.
Yeah.
That's why I needed this stuff for myself. Like some people don't count their sobriety days. I do. I need that. I have a goal I want to reach 5 years. You know, it keeps me on track, right?
Right.
And also the hugest thing I learned or I realized about myself again is the fact that I'm an addict, no matter what, and that's never going away. So if I try to cure myself from being an addict, I'm just going to be just going down a path with no end to it.
Right.
So I just got to get addicted with things that are not going to kill me. That's
right.
just what it is. I got to switch my addictions. I got to fuel those addictions because that's not going away. And that's how I ended up meeting you, my friend.
Right,
you know,
dude.
Started aside, and I'm like, because an idle mind, I look at it as a devil's playground, you know?
1,000%.
And now that I'm not drinking, I'd go to bed early, wake up early. What do I do, man? So fuck it, let's go work out, you know?
Dude,
5
right.
a.m. workouts, dude. I started gardening, bro. I started fucking art. Just the weirdest shit, you know, things that I would never think to do, but I do it now, you know? And just to keep my day packed. I'm never, and now I got some time in the way, and now there's so things that I found new loves and new addictions, new, you know, fucking things that I like to do that if I were to drink could jeopardize. You think if I drink the night before I'm going to make it to the gym at 5 a.m?
Fuck no.
Fuck no. So it's just, I'm putting little obstacles in my way and now just created a new routine and a new way of thinking. And then also too, man, now I'm seeing the beauty in life, you know,
right.
How much there's things in life that you could take out to get that dopamine you need. Cause that's what it comes down to. It's those dopamine release, man. And you're never going to, you got to just replace it, you know? Now having a baby, man, you know, we got lucky. Me and the wife finally we had a 1-year-old. He just turned 1 November 4th. But talk about dopamine, man.
Yeah, man.
I'm home and you know, can I do drugs? Can I drink before I come home? No, because I don't want him potentially that whatever or him smelling it. So there's a reason why I'm not drinking. Then you get home and you grab them and all the euphoria that the drugs and alcohol would give you are just tenfold. Just having this baby, you know. So there's just many things that just. Now, and it's a constant fucking battle, dude. I'm still working the same job I used to work. I'm still whining and dining clients. I'm around alcohol all day, every day, man. But it's just the way now I've learned to, you know, just if I do this, I'm jeopardizing something that's so much greater.
Yeah,
know?
man. And I've actually seen you at parties multiple times.
Now I leave early because it's not to go home and drink, but just because sometimes I'm the sober guy. You know?
Yeah, man. And being sober around a lot of drunk people, it's you start to see things differently. You really do.
Yeah. But here's the thing. I can't also, I still miss it, man. I
right.
would lie to you if I said I did it. So I'm not over here saying like, oh, look at all
No.
Sometimes I'm like, fuck, man.
I
miss it. Or, you know, like just a glass of wine with steak, you know.
It's that temptation.
That stuff, even now to the point, you know. But no, it's just
it's the temptation of it, man. It really is. So the things that you do to kind of keep you away from that addiction is you full on just like buy into like working out.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
You know,
Well, yeah.
Gardening. So you've changed out these negative habits with positive habits.
Yeah, like the biking, right? I mean, it's just and like endurance. But for some reason, endurance sports, it's just another way of just beating myself up, you know? And then I sometimes, and this I don't know, man, but I'll think about that. Like, why do I like that? Why did I like beating myself up with alcohol? Why do I like beating myself up with these sports?
You're big on riding, right?
Yeah, right. But there's got to be something in the mentality, right?
Yeah.
That makes us a little fucked up, or some wires crossed or connected incorrectly.
I don't know, bro.
Got us here,
when you're doing it now, when you are on the bike, are you
Yeah.
listening to music? Like, what are you doing? Like, are you like thinking through your thoughts? Are you like what's going through your head at that
I
time?
think a lot, dude. I love thinking, actually.
Dude, it's
you know?
honestly one of my favorite things
Dude,
to do.
sometimes I'll park my car like a forest preserve, bro. Just fucking. I have work things to do on my phone, but then I'll finish that and just kick it for a while and just organize my thoughts, you know?
Yeah,
And
reflect
I
on
mean,
yourself.
dude, it could be simple things like the fight I had with my wife in the morning before I walked out the door, you know?
Right.
I mean, in the fucking fit of fury, you know, fuck that bitch, whatever. But I'll sit down and realize, you know why we fuss? Because I'm a dickhead, you know? I mean, sometimes it's simple things like that, and it's good to realize that, you know? So it's a lot of thinking, a lot of self-reflecting.
Something about the victim mentality to be said about that, right? Where it's like if you have that argument with your wife, you think it's like an attack on you, so you take offense to it, and you're defending a position of like, well, like what am I really defending? Like, is it really an attack on me, or is it something that I need to take a step back from and look at it from a third party perspective?
Dude, and
like maybe I am wrong.
Yeah. I mean, dude,
and then accepting responsibility for it.
Yeah, and that's what I think I struggled with for a long time is accepting the fact that I have a ton of faults, you know, and it's because man, you know, because it's whatever. But fuck, man, it's okay to admit that because that's the way you get rid of them. I think, you know.
Yeah, man.
So,
1,000%. And what I do actually want to touch on is, so you literally had a miracle of being alive.
Yeah, I'll say so. Yeah.
And still here to this day and sitting in this room.
Yeah, he saw something in me,
brother,
upstairs.
100. Well, I see it now for sure because I know what kind of person you are.
Thank you.
And that's why like I really do, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. And I don't give a fuck whoever's listening, but like seriously, like you are a good dude. You are a good man.
Likewise,
you have a good head on your shoulder, and I appreciate that. But like truly, not a lot of people can bounce back the way you did and then become a fucking completely different person, a better person. And it's a lot of
I owe it to a lot of people. It's pay it back. I mean, man, I'm telling you, my support system, you have no idea how many people dragged me through this. It wasn't I'm the toughest guy walked through it. No, man, I had a fucking village, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's a blessing too.
100%.
That I was kind of lucky to have what I had, you know?
Yeah.
Who knows how things would have turned out without those people.
But that's the thing too, dude. It's just like you said earlier, you're not going to want to get help unless you get help. People can drag you and push you into it, but you did the work. That's
true.
the thing. You have to do the work.
Light bulb's got to turn on, man.
Right, man.
You got to want it.
I can tell you every single day until I'm blue in the face, like, hey, you got to go to rehab. You got to go to therapy. You got to go to AA, or you can do the same thing for me. Like, Dom, you have to go to therapy. I have to want to do it.
Yeah.
And you have to want to put the work in. You can go and just fucking play the game.
Great point.
And play the game, but you have to put the work in.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
And that's the stigma around it. And there's a stigma around being vulnerable. There's a stigma of, telling the truth of like, what is your weakness? And we got to get rid of that fucking bullshit, man, because we're all fucking human. We all make mistakes.
And if you bottle it up, it'll eat you, man. Because it's not going to go anywhere.
Eat you fucking alive.
It's going to get worse and worse and worse until something bad happens.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? That's the problem.
But I do want to go back as IVF, man.
Yeah.
That is a whole nother fucking stressor.
Boy.
And I know you guys literally went through the gambit on it.
But you too, man.
Absolutely. But just the miracle of fucking baby Jack, dude.
Oh, yeah.
And we just had his first birthday party, a weekend ago?
Yeah, man, last weekend. Yeah,
and
cool,
that
man.
kid
Thanks for
looked
coming, by the way.
straight up a dago after my own heart.
Doesn't he,
Hair
man?
slicked back,
Dude.
bro. He is such a cute fucking
I
kid.
had a compliment. Someone said if they ever do like a movie on Al Capone, he could play the baby.
The
baby
fucking
Al.
baby, dude. I swear to God, he's got the most beautiful eyes. And
Yeah,
I mean,
thank you.
And then you had that miracle, and then he had another miracle of his own.
Yeah.
Do you want to touch on that a little bit?
Sure, man. And my wife would love for me to do this because she's a huge proponent on this.
Yeah.
She's actually pushing this, and I want to give her a huge shout out. Congenital glaucoma is what we're talking about. She started a little bit of a push for it just to raise awareness. But I guess, let me. I would love to, if you don't mind.
A little bit of push. She started a podcast on it too, brother.
Over here, and thank you for helping her with that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I guess what happened was, thank you for bringing this up because this is cool. And again, super mom. Our baby was a few months old, and she was just, we're looking at our baby, and she kept bringing it up. She thought one of his eyes was maybe a little bit bigger than the other.
Yeah.
Literally, no one else in the family thought so. We were actually telling her to calm down. Let's not bother his doctor anymore. You're just being an overwhelming mom, right? But she said no, she wouldn't. She refused to take that as an answer because she thought she had that mother intuition, something's going on. She ended up reaching out to an eye doctor as in a family. They ended up doing some sort of AI testing of his pupil or cornea or whatever. And all they did was told us, listen, tomorrow you guys wake up. We need you to rush him into Lurie's Hospital, like right away.
And it was your buddy that found it, right?
My wife's cousin's wife's husband. Or father.
Yeah.
He's an eye doctor. He owns his own practice.
And it was ChatGPT.
I'm not sure what he used, but she just sent him a picture of his eyes. He said he put it under some sort of AI thing he does.
Okay.
And they can't diagnose it based off of that, but he had enough where he thought, listen, you got to go to the doctor and get diagnosed.
And thank God he said that.
So what ended up going, we take him in, we bring him into Lurie's. Turns out he's got congenital glaucoma, and that's 1 in 10,000 kids. 1 in 10,000 children get born with it. So like glaucoma is very common in adults and elderly folks, but kids born with it, 1 in 10,000. Basically, what happens is the duct behind their eyes that drains the fluids just didn't properly develop, or it's clogged. It could be one or the other, which eventually causes pressure behind the eyes and can cause nerve damage and lead to blindness.
Yeah.
Right? So, and here's the thing: if he's caught very early on, it's very. They go in there, they pull out drain those valves, and the child is perfectly fine. But the fact that it's 1 in 10,000, there's pediatricians out there that will work their whole life and never run into a patient with this because it's that rare.
Right.
So the fact that my wife had this intuition, brought it up, pushed it, did something about it, we were able to catch it very early. So just for everyone to know there, I hope you guys can, if you guys have any sort of, maybe thoughts that your child has, just please go get checked out. But
there's something to be said about a mother's intuition. Yeah.
There's 3 major signs of this, right? There's either like fogging of the eye, which is very noticeable. Second one is if the child goes out in the sun, easily he tears up, just very sensitive to the light. And the third one is a different, like enlarged pupil. And that one is by far the hardest to diagnose. And usually children have 2 or 3 of them. Now, in our case, he didn't have any of the other ones, just this one. So he was the perfect candidate of having this missed.
Dude.
Right? So normal people have 10 PSI behind the eye is normal. He was at 29 and 32 already.
Oh, dude.
So they went in. Luckily, he does have to wear glasses. And he's have a lifetime of going to the eye doctor and getting it checked. But they went in, they fixed it, and luckily, healthy kid, vision, he won't have any problems. Right?
Thank God.
But they were telling us there are like many cases where they have what Jack has. The parents don't find out the kid has a problem with his vision until he's old enough to talk.
And that's probably too late.
At this point, they're going in, there's 80, 90 PSI behind the eyes. So the pressure has caused nerve damage. And now what they're doing is basically fighting an uphill battle to save this child's vision. Right?
Yeah.
So the biggest thing my wife is doing this podcast and spreading awareness is if you look at the signs, because it's very rare, but if the child has it, just take them in. The test is literally they blow this little like air onto the pupil and bring back just a PSI behind the eye. It's that simple to find out if your kid has it or if he doesn't. But just doing that could literally save his vision. So just any moms, any dads out there with newborns, and if you look at their eyes and have any sort of questions or concerns, don't sit on it, act on it. You might save your child's vision.
Let's go. Very important, guys.
And one funny story, I guess, about this is, so my wife in the process, after we found out, because on Tuesday, I think we found out he has to have surgery. We were having a surgery on Friday. So from Tuesday to Friday, she's on the fucking computer, Google and everything.
Oh,
It's the worst thing you can do.
The worst thing you could do.
She Googles celebrities with congenital glaucoma because she just wanted to see how is he going to look when he's older? Because one eye was a little bit bigger. He's going to be significantly bigger. She's going to kind of look. The 2 celebrities that she got were Andrea Bocelli and Ray Charles.
No,
both blind,
dude,
bro.
Yeah, fuck.
So all of a sudden, way to make yourself feel better, So that was that. That was just the last time she's Googling anything. But yeah, man, thank you for letting me share that. But yeah,
dude, thank you for sharing it.
So Jack went, they did it. He's great. He went back a few times for follow-ups. And there's 3 things. Okay, either one is they drain it, fixes it, boom, he's going to be good. Second one, he's on eye drops for the rest of his life.
Right.
Third one is it keeps building up. He's got to have multiple procedures throughout his life. So we're still very, he only turned 1. This happened when he was like 6 months. We're still very early in the game. But as of right now, it's looking like he may have had the first one where they fixed it and he may be all right.
Good to go, brother.
And that's simply because how fast my wife caught it and acted and got this resolved. If this would have been any longer, we could be having a different situation.
There's something to be said about, your intuitions and to listen to them, your gut feelings. It's a legit fucking thing.
Because there's, as she's been doing this, you hear about stories where moms thought they saw it, they didn't, but they just didn't. They noticed it, but just the doing something about it part is the important.
There's something to be said about all of these, like, and it's gonna sound cliche when I say it, but like all these trials and tribulations you went through, right, man? But there's a story you told me about in the gym. Yeah, I think you're gonna remember if you don't know what I'm talking about now. It was like that old ancient Chinese.
Is it like the maybe one?
Yeah, the maybe one. Yeah.
So shout out to Joe Rogan. Actually.
Shout out Joe Rogan.
Yeah, man. I heard it on his podcast. It was one of his guests that said it, but stuck with me for sure. And I'm happy to share it, man. It's actually
and you know what? I think it kind of correlates with everything you've been through. I mean, everything that it speaks to me. It speaks volumes to me.
Everyday life for almost everyone can relate to.
Everyday fucking life.
You just never know.
And you really should be fucking living your life in kind of like this mindset of, what things happen to you. It doesn't mean it's bad, but like tell the audience the story.
Now probably not a real story, right? But it's just a story to teach a lesson. I think that's what it is. But the story goes where it's an older gentleman out in a village somewhere, let's say Europe. Right? I'm just making this up now where it's at. But he has a ton of horses, right? Pride horses or whatever maybe. And one night the gate opens. He wakes up in the morning. All of his horses are gone, right? One of his neighbors walks up. He's like, "Oh man, dude, that's super unfortunate. You're super unlucky, right?" He just looks at him. He's like, "Maybe, right?" And the guy looks at him like, "Maybe? What the fuck's the guy talking about? What do you mean maybe? Your horses are gone, right?" Well, next morning he wakes up, and because that gate was still open, the most beautiful stallion kind of runs in. It's this Pride racing horse, And the same neighbor comes over. He's like, "Holy shit, dude! Look how lucky you are, right?" And he's all like, "Well, maybe, what the hell he's talking about? This guy's crazy. He's got this Pride horse. How is he not lucky, right?"
Right.
Turns out next morning, the farmer's son decides he wants to ride this horse, right? The horse bucks him off. Kid falls down and breaks his arm, right? So then the neighbor again comes over. He's like, "Oh man, that's really unlucky." And then again, the farmer says, "Maybe." What do you mean, maybe your kid's arm's broken?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you mean? Well, next day, the army comes and there's a draft. They're pulling all young men from that village to go to war. They come to this house. Unfortunately, since he's unable to, to perform duties, they leave him back. He didn't have to go. Again, the neighbor comes back. He's like, "Wow, are you lucky, right?" Again, maybe, right? Yeah, so it's kind of the moral of the story is you never know. I mean, it could seem doom and gloom. It could seem like this is just nothing's going good. You just never know, though. That could just be the beginning of one of the greatest things. It's just a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, man.
So what you said is perfect. That's when you can't let that beat you up. You got to continue living life, man. You got to keep pushing because you never know.
You never know.
It's a baby.
Yeah, things are placed in front of you for a reason, and like that's when it goes back to like a higher power, right?
Yeah, it's like I say, God puts you, or how is it? God won't put you through unless you can't get through it.
Yeah, he's not going to put you. Yeah, God's not going to put you through anything that you can't handle. Something along those lines.
Way of saying it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it really is the fucking truth, man. So things are happening to you in a sense of the way I look at it is it's a lesson to be learned, right? It's something you can learn from it, and anything that bad happens to you in your life, good will come from it.
Yeah.
Right.
And sometimes it's hard to see it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Sometimes it's the things that are happening to you at the moment are hard.
Yeah,
tough,
man.
And there's no way but just have faith, man.
Why would God do this to me?
That's where that higher power comes into play.
The higher power, and also not falling victim to the victim mentality of why me, God. Like, why would God do that to me? Well, maybe he's not doing it to you. He's doing it for you to show you something or to teach you something.
Yes.
Right?
Correct. Like, dude, the pancreatitis.
Dude, it goes all back to that.
Some people maybe like, oh my, dude, best thing ever happened to me.
Right.
I probably wouldn't be sitting here today
even
if
before that.
Happened.
Like your relationship with alcohol, right? Mm-hmm. Why would God give me that relationship? Why would God give me, why would the higher power give me that relationship with this substance where I know I'm going to abuse and I have this addictive personality? Yeah. Like, doesn't he love me? Yada, yada, yada. But that's the victim mentality of looking at it.
And I'm so glad you brought that up because I just triggered a thought that I wanted to share and I would have forgotten. And now what I pride myself on is I'm now the fucking generational family curse breaker, dude. Like, I can't go as far as I go down my family tree, there's alcohol. I mean, early deaths. I mean, I'm the only son too on this side. So I always thought, dude, I could have just ended our family tree. Or a branch of this Rusnak could have ended with me. I didn't have a kid yet. Right,
man.
So that's kind of where I'm looking at. That was that moment where it went from to I'm going to restart this tree, let it spread branches with my son. He's not, think about it. I was known by many people as a big time drinker, partier, alcoholic, nuts guy. My son will never see me with a beer in my hand. Think about that.
Yeah,
There's a whole
man.
generation of new humans that are going to be growing up thinking of me as just a square, bro.
But
Fantastic.
100%. But think about the kind of father you're going to be for your son.
Well, yeah, and then
Right, because
sure.
you say now, like, your dopamine release is getting home and seeing your kid,
Yeah.
and that's the you're sharing those moments with him and actually just giving him love, and instead of showing him appreciation for getting you a bottle of alcohol.
Yeah, you're right, and that's where that generational curse is going to be broken. I'm passing down different just ideologies and just different. He's going to see different things from his father. Kind of what I'm proud of him for is going to be so much different than what my parents were proud of me for.
Because you're learning from your fucking lessons in life,
and then hopefully he could pass that down to his kid. Instead of having one, maybe he has four. Next boom. And that's what I really hang my hand. That's another thing that I play mental mind tricks with myself that keeps me being sober. Yeah. The moment I start drinking, I'm gonna I could cut that branch right off, man. And it's
and it's done.
Can't do that.
And then your kid's gonna grow up without a dad.
And then what if he's got the genetic the alcohol gene that I've had, and now he's got a reason to hit the bottle. Boom, it's back down and running down the wrong path. All because I was fucking, So that's the kind of stuff. That's the shit that I tell myself that keeps me on track. When it's difficult, when I'm having a hard time, that's what I go back to for sure.
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to, man. And continuing to work on yourself and not being ashamed of it. And just the fact that you share this story, there's not a lot of people would share this story because they would find shame in it, and you don't find shame.
For a long time I did.
Yeah.
For a long time I did, man. I mean, I think with the work I do, dude, how many times I would go to, I'd be that guy that walks into the bar early just to have a chit chat with the bartender. Hey, listen, I don't drink, but I got a lot of clients. I don't want them knowing. Give me a little club soda with lemon lime, and keep them coming all night. Don't ask many questions,
Dude, love it.
But that, fuck that, dude. That was another whole, like, that's like when I had a plan and like scheme up shit when I was drinking. Now I'm scheming to not the fuck no,
right,
dude.
Exactly.
I need freedom in my brain, and it took it took a good long time. I mean, there was a point in time where I made up a whole story to my employer why was I gone for so fucking long?
Right.
I made up a whole fucked up story. I mean, it was crazy, man. To the point
because you're trying to save your job,
my self image, what people think of me. But it got to the point where dude, I said, fuck it, man. Everybody knows now, and it's better. I've gotten.
How freeing is it?
Oh man, that's the best word. It's just, it's free. It's
freeing.
Because even after I stopped drinking, I still had that weight of embarrassment of alcohol. The alcohol still had me as a prisoner.
Yeah.
And now it's no longer that. And two, for everybody that's struggling with alcohol too, what's difficult about it is it's everywhere and it's so fucking acceptable,
easy.
Man. Like, let's say you got and I'm not trying to say it's any less powerful but let's say like heroin or whatever it may be, right? You could kind of cut out your friends and eliminate the associations, and it could kind of be gone, right? Here, man, you go pump your gas at the gas station, you're staring at a billboard for booze, I mean, you go to a party and you're the one not drinking, you're the weirdo. I mean, there's a lot of things. So anyone out there struggling with that, just trust me, that's normal. It's normal. I struggled with it. Everybody struggles with it. And I'm not even saying just stop that and no, that's going to happen. But just know that it's okay. Know that you're not the only one. And hopefully it gets to the point where you're comfortable enough to share it, because it promise you it'll make you feel better,
Yeah, man.
And a lot of it too started with like my father, dude. He was an alcoholic too, So and it's crazy that when I stopped, I was ashamed to. But you know what I did, dude? I told him he saw me in hospital too, and he just turned 3 years sober too. Me and my dad are going. We're riding our sobriety path together. So that's another fucking obstacle. I said I can't. If I start drinking, I'm letting my father down.
Yeah,
what I mean, you stack these, and then eventually you can't.
But look, what your incident also had gotten your dad sober.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And now he can live a little bit longer to have that relationship with his grandson.
That's a great point. Yeah, something you don't.
A lot of good things come from bad, you guys. It's not just all doom and gloom. It's the way you fucking look at it. It's all about perspective.
Yep,
it really is, and how you look at that situation, and how instead of telling yourself bullshit. Just be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
And just like Mike said, just like I said, it's freeing to just be who you are truly. You don't have to put up this facade of who you are and try to drive this fancy car or have these fancy things and go on these fancy, because in reality, all that shit is not fucking worth a dime. Because at the end of the day, when you are, it's your last day on this planet fucking Earth, are you going to look back and be like, oh, look at all the cool fucking shit I have? Yeah. But what kind of relationships did you build?
Great point.
that's what life's about. It's about fucking being present and being with your family. And I struggle with this myself every single day of trying to fucking figure that shit out. And I'm sure you do. Everyone fucking does. It could be as easy as you want it to be, or it can be as hard as you want it to be.
And life's a bitch, man.
Bro, fuck yeah, it is.
Life's a bitch, man. The moment you feel like you got it going on, man.
Yeah,
shit will
dude.
slip, and then now you gotta fucking scramble, and
1,000%, dude. Like I'll feel good for fucking months, and then just recently something happened where my pension didn't kick in when it was supposed to kick in, and then my work comp stopped paying me, so I went like 2.5 months without pay. Yeah. What does that do to you as a fucking man, dude? Right? It breaks you the fuck down because you can't provide for your wife. You can't provide for your son financially. You have to borrow money. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And that could easily just consume you.
Money is one of the they say. I mean, that's down
the root of evil. The root of evil, right?
Try money doesn't bring happiness, but try not having it.
Yeah. Exactly, man. So everyone goes through it, and everyone fights that fucking fight. You just have to keep just being as present as you possibly can. Like, planning for the future is like one of the biggest jokes you can do in the world, right? Because God has a path for you, or God has a plan for you, or whatever you believe in, the higher power you believe in.
Yeah.
Why are we spending time on putting up this ego? Why are we spending time putting up this facade of who we think we are? Just be who you are. And not worry about the future. The future will come. Yeah, plan accordingly, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can't not have a plan.
Right, have a plan, but life is simpler.
And even though like I still struggle to like I have times where even though I know all of this stuff, life will still get so fucking overwhelming sometimes where you resort back to the fuck, man. And it's an exercise. It's tough even after you got years,
right?
To bounce back sometimes, And then that's when you kind of have to rely back on. I mean, dude, I rely on you guys in the morning as a huge.
Same with you. Same with you guys.
It's accountability. It's everything. It's and having people there for you that you trust and you can share the stuff and get it out and that they won't judge you is so massive. And
it's huge.
And then also too, mental health, man, it's real too. So if sometimes it could also be embarrassing, but getting that checked out too and doing something about it.
Yeah, man, there's nothing.
There's
nothing to be embarrassed about it. No. Like, people go see help all the time. Go see a therapist. Go see a psychiatrist. Go to your doctor. Go talk to someone. I guarantee they can relate to you in a way that you probably don't think that person's struggling. They're struggling just as much as you are. Yeah. They are. It's human nature for us to always excessively worry about something.
That's why sometimes, man, just a nice little smile and a hello and a good morning to someone walking past on the street in the store will do wonders.
It does wonders for you, and it does wonders for that person.
It takes nothing.
Nothing.
Sometimes.
Exactly. Open the fucking door for somebody.
But it could change somebody's life.
It literally could be, a difference between life and death for that person. They could already be hitting rock bottom, and it was you holding that door, looking him in the face and genuinely saying, "Hey, how you doing?" Or like, "Hey, how's it going?" or just being a good person.
Yeah, man.
Acts of kindness go a long way. But I want to circle back real quick, and it's recognizing these patterns. When shit's hitting the fan for you, or you feel like everything around you is crumbling, when you recognize that, you're like, no, I've been here before. I've been through fucking worse. I can get through anything. And that's the kind of mentality you kind of have to have, or you do have to have. Not kind of, you do have to have.
And then eventually it calluses you to become a tough individual to the point where, people start to admire you from just the shit that, going through you. Eventually it shows,
Right. Because we had a conversation on my back porch, and you said something to me about, my trauma is nothing compared, or your trauma is nothing compared to my trauma. And you actually pissed me off.
But dude, that's something I'm still dealing with.
Right.
I have a hard time, I guess, putting what happened to me as the same level as happened to you, because yours was so, in such a heroic way. Mine was just a total self-dump, you know what I mean?
Right, man, but I also still felt negative towards my situation, just like you felt negative towards your situation. No cop wants to be gunned down on the street, man. Like, it's a failure. It's a failure. But it all goes back to, exactly, it's not just like what happened to you doesn't make you a bad person. Yeah. And what you went through doesn't make you a piece of shit. You bounce back from it. It's how you come back from it.
Yeah.
Right. And how you perceive it.
And the thing is, I agree with you 100% when you say it. But then when I'm in my own little dark moments, I think sometimes differently. You know, you still kind of have those guilt, but that's when you fight through. And that's what
You have to fight.
That's when you need people like
recognize it.
you, though, and like people in my corner that will give you these reminders sometimes that helps you, you know, keep on keeping on. So
Yeah, brother. So let's go into where you at now. Like where you're at now. Like how is life for you now?
Awesome,
And I know it's going well,
awesome,
dude.
man, dude. I mean, it's the crowd I surround myself with. I mean, I never would have met you. You know, I mean, the group we have going on in the morning. I mean, my marriage life is fantastic. I have a beautiful son.
Beautiful.
It's just my family life is great. You know, my dad's sober. I mean, it's man, it's night and day. It's if you would have told me 3 short years ago, right, that I'd be here right now, it would have been. I know people say it's very cliche, but I wouldn't have believed you, and neither would a lot of people that knew me.
Right.
Like, it's not just me. It would have been, I mean, the closest people that knew me, like my fucking parents, my wife,
right.
my best friends that were worried about me. I mean, this would have been. They didn't see this one coming. You know, if there was odds in Vegas, mine would have been fucking low to be where I'm at. You know, so the fact that I am here, it's a blessing. It's unbelievable. I can't believe it sometimes, but I'm glad it is, and it's encouraging, and that's what keeps me going, man. You know,
brother. And your career's fucking blowing up
Well,
too.
it's good,
You're
too.
doing really well there as well, man. Like killing it.
Yeah, what works great, you know, but work is work, you know.
Yeah, but actually, we talked about this off camera, and I'm going to bring it up now. But you also still face some hardships now doing your job. You know, you have to go to these, you know, natural disasters, floods, fires, XYZ, whatever happens to your customers, and you have to see them lose everything. And then even like your latest trip to Texas, man,
that was tough. Lake. I'm sure many of you've heard the flooding. It's like out Camp Mystic.
Yeah,
where all those
little
children
kids
passed away. Yeah, I mean, like you said, so what I do for a living is anytime there's natural disasters, me and my company, we travel and help them remediate and kind of get back up and running. We do a lot of commercial stuff, but it doesn't matter. But we got sent down to San Antonio for the flooding because there were some, you know, natural disasters. I went down, and I have some national accounts anyway. But we ended up going and because the only area that really got damaged was down that river,
right?
And just swept away these camps, man. And of course, we had to go out there because they needed us to kind of investigate well, not investigate, but just scope out their property that was damaged. But man, you just see. I mean, I didn't actually see any bodies, I guess per se, but I mean, just tarps, right, with a couple of large ones and then a row of little ones. It doesn't. You don't need to be a genius to know what that is, right there. You know.
Yeah.
And then even like day 3 or 4, I mean, you see like. People walk around at this point. They're saying they're finding bodies based off of smell. Like,
yeah, and you said you recall smelling it.
Oh yeah, I mean, dude, we were there. It was wild, and somebody, and I don't want to say, you know, there's first responders that do this every day, and they're probably like, "Don't be a pussy, man." You know, I'm not sure. You know, I wasn't. I've never really been around something like that. You know,
right.
I mean, I'm around loss of property all the time. You know, a lot of times hurricanes come through, families evacuate. Every once in a while, we'll you know, we've seen some stuff. But never children, never this magnitude, never that many of them, you know? And yeah, man, you come home and it sticks with you for a little bit. It's so again, it kind of just,
yeah, man.
I can see where a lot of folks that see some stuff, you know, on a battlefield or something. I can't imagine, man.
That stuff sticks with you. And
wow.
And there's the first responders that are there that they seem like they're handling it. I'm sure they're compartmentalizing just like I that's how I would handle it. I would compartmentalize. I have a job to do.
Yeah.
Right. And my job is to look for this or look for that or do this or do that. It still sticks with you. Man, it still comes up at the worst time. So just especially like you said,
we both have young children.
Yeah,
man.
Bro. And you see those those tarps.
What makes you want to go home and hug your kid
with little kids underneath it? It makes you want to go home and hug your kid, man. But it definitely will come back. And just like you said, dude, earlier in the episode of on the water, you have a duck and it looks calm, but
under the water, inside kicking like a motherfucker,
dude. And that's honestly what it is, dude. And so you're not like a police officer. You're not like a paramedic, but at the same time, you still go to those situations. You're still exposed to those situations that still play on your own cycle.
For sure, it has to. You know, it's some of the it's abnormal stuff that most people don't really
shouldn't have to see.
Right? Well, not even shouldn't have, but don't, right? Because there's no reason unless it happens to you. You know, we go out there for the stuff, but yeah.
It's just like I go out there for my job, you go out there for your job, brother, and that's what it is. Now, before we take off, man, is there anything else you want to say to the listeners?
Man, yeah. Honestly, it's seriously, I don't have anything scripted or anything that I want to say, but what I do want to say is I know many people suffer with what I suffered through. You know, whether it's, you know, you have a past, you know, of first response or military or whatever, or you don't. You know, there's alcohol. It's cunning. It's baffling. It could really take over someone and turn someone from what they are to what they're not, right? But it's not the end of the world. It doesn't have to end that way, right? I at one point thought it would. I didn't know how it was gonna end. But I had no plan for it. But just know that there is an out. It's not. It may seem embarrassing. It may seem that it is a kick to your ego. But I promise you, that the first most freeing part of it is admitting it, asking for help, even if it's just someone that you're super close with, your wife, if you have a great relationship with your father, a friend, and just even telling one person, see where it goes. It even just once they kind of got out there and once it was in the open and people kind of knew what it was, the freedom I got from that was something that I can't even imagine or couldn't explain. It's something I thought it would bring me this ridiculous, just embarrassment but it brought me freedom. And then allowed me to start over and now start the new path to recovery. And anyway, I know it's very, very difficult, but if anyone's considering doing it, do it sooner rather than later. I promise you, it's going to be like that story, maybe. You think you're so unlucky, maybe. Maybe you tell somebody and your life turns around, and a couple of years later, you're going to look back at that and think that's the best thing that ever happened to you. So love you guys. Take care of yourself. Call somebody. Look for help if you need it. That's really all I got.
I love it, brother. Dude, I mean, honestly, perfect. Nicely. It was beautifully said. It was, hopefully this will resonate with somebody.
Even one person, man.
Yeah. And that's all. Hey, all it takes is just one person, brother. It's a spider web after that, dude. Yeah. Just like you lived and your whole family. I mean, what if you didn't, it would have affected everyone who's attached or
someone
close
would be
to you.
here. I can't even imagine. I can't even think of that now. Think about it. It's wild. Yeah.
That's what it's all about, brother.
One last thing I'm going to add too is
yeah,
another
please.
thing that an uncle said to me and recently. So we, for multiple years, because my sobriety day is October 23rd. So we would always do it Oktoberfest.
Let's go. There we go.
And this year's the first year we didn't do it. Now it's not. It's seriously, a couple people caught it and they were like, "Oh, Mom, we're so sorry," right? Dude, I looked at it completely differently. Well, it's a lot of families. Our family has a lot of little babies that were born this year.
Right.
So there's so much going on. Who gives a fuck about me, right? And I prefer it that way. But when I first was in the hospital, his name is Jeff. He's actually one of the biggest reasons I actually ended up going to rehab. If he wasn't in the room with the doctor when they came in and told me all this stuff, and he sat me down man to man, I mean, it was a fucking man to man, and it wasn't even my father, but this guy's like a father figure to me now. And he fucking just hit it straight, man. And he made me realize I got to go, And that's, I thank him for a lot of this and where I'm at right now. But
shout out
what
Jeff.
he told me, shout out Jeff Rizzi. Jeff Rizzi's the fucking man. So is Kelly, his wife. Awesome. But what he said is, dude, at one point there's going to be a time where no one even remembers this anymore.
Yeah.
Your goal is to get it to that point where it's just the norm. And this year, when people forgot about my 3 year, that's kind of made me feel it's the fucking norm now. I got to the point that he told me it would happen one day if I just stay on the right track. So
let's fucking go,
pretty
brother.
fucking cool, man.
Hey, future's bright for you, brother.
Thanks, man.
You're a fucking fantastic man. You're a fantastic father, fantastic husband. You're gonna go places. It's just inevitable, man.
Oh, man, thank you. Love you, Tom.
I love you too, brother.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Brother, and thank you so much for coming on the show, man. I've been fucking dying to get this story out.
And I've always wanted to do it, but again, I felt, I'm like, do I fit in this fucking podcast?
Oh, brother.
You made me feel really welcome.
You fucking
and I hope your viewers, welcome this too.
Oh, they will. It's a story about success and triumph, dude. There's no way that they will not love it. I fucking love it. So,
well, thank you.
We appreciate you guys tuning into another episode of Beyond the Dispatch. We really do appreciate you guys. Please do us a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, leave a comment about what you liked about the episode. We can't do this without you guys. We appreciate you guys, and we'll catch you on the next one.